The Indiana Pacers just beat the Milwaukee Bucks 117-98 to take a 1-0 series lead. Best of 7, obviously. And I think it's pretty clear why they won. The most obvious thing is obviously the offensive production. The Pacers got a lot of contributions from a lot of different players. And for the Bucks, it was a little bit of AJ Green late, but mainly it was Giannis. Giannis was dominant as always, but everyone else really struggled to shoot the ball. But I want to start with the Pacers because this is obviously one of the better offenses in the league. They were the best offense in the league last year when you go by offensive rating. This year, they're 7th, at least since December 13th. They're 7th when they kind of got their stuff together because they started 10-15. From that point forward, they were the 7th best offense in the NBA. And early, the Milwaukee Bucks committed a lot to Tyrese Haliburton, which is exactly what the Pacers want you to do because then it allows him to kind of wheel and deal. He had 8 assists going into halftime. It also opens up opportunities for their other players to go and score. Andrew Nembhard had like 4 pretty easy layups in the first quarter. Pascal Siakam got going. Aaron Nesmith, he hit a couple shots early, so it just allowed the other guys to find some rhythm. And then, of course, you get into the Indiana Pacers bench, which it was arguably the best bench in the league last year. It's not the best bench in the league this year, but it's still pretty freaking good. Benedict Mathurin off the bench played really well, especially in that first half. TJ McConnell got it going in the third and fourth quarters. They both finished in double figures. And it was just a really impressive all-around offensive performance from the Indiana Pacers. 6 guys in double figures. And Tyrese Haliburton really didn't even shoot the ball that well. 0 of 7 from 3, not going to cut it. That's probably not going to happen again, but he was still really good in the game. If you've watched a lot of Pacer games this year, then Haliburton has these stretches where it feels like he's not even on the floor, even though he is. Didn't have a stretch like that. I always knew that he was on the floor. He was coming off screens, really looking to attack. I like how they took him off the ball a little bit there in the first quarter to let Nembhard run the show because they were pressing him and just making things really tough on him. That got him going a little bit early, but his ability to just make every right decision was on full display. He was plus 25 on the night, even though he didn't shoot the ball very well. Luckily for him, everyone else on the Indiana Pacers did, especially Myles Turner. Myles Turner was awesome in this game. He only grabbed 5 rebounds, and I'm sure that there's some Pacer fans out there that are going to be really upset about that. But, the dude had 17 points. He hits a big 3 late to kind of put the game away, and he had 4 blocks. And when you're playing the Bucks and you're playing Giannis, who wants to get to the rim, like you have to have someone to provide some sort of resistance. And Myles Turner's been in the league for a decade now, and he's anchored this Pacers defense for a long time. He's not a great defensive anchor. Like, obviously, he's not Rudy Gobert or Wembanyama, but he is a solid guy where if he's the guy protecting the rim for you, then you feel pretty good about it. He was really good. Pascal Siakam, he led the way for the Pacers. Dude just gets buckets. He's, you could argue, the most underrated or undervalued player in the league. 25 points, 7 rebounds. He's having a career year shooting from 3, hovering around 40%. I think he's at 38. Don't hold me to that, though. He showed it tonight, 3 of 5 from 3. And the Pacers offense was just everything that it wants to be. Quick decisions, the ball was moving, and they generated a ton of open threes because of that. And a ton of open threes, a ton of paint points. It was just a very impressive offensive performance. And then you look at that, and then you compare it to the Bucks offense. The Bucks offense looked nothing like the Indiana Pacers offense. Pacers offense, guys are cutting, setting screens. It's a very unselfish brand of basketball. And then you watch the Bucks, and this isn't Giannis's fault, but every time he touched the ball, everything just stopped. And everyone just looked at him. And it's really hard to score when you've got 9 set of eyes on you at all times. And, this is a pretty normal Giannis game. I'm going to run to the rim. I'm going to run over some dudes on my way there. I'm probably going to get fouled. If I don't get fouled, then I'm going to score. And if you find a way to somehow, some way cut him off, he's going to find an open shooter. And hopefully they make it. They didn't make him tonight. They were like 8 of 34 from 3. That probably won't happen again. Weird shooting variance game. But I did think that the Indiana Pacers did a really good job of just generating better shots than the Bucks. Like, their buckets just seemed to come way easier for them than they did the Milwaukee Bucks. And I know what some people are thinking, hey, Damian Lillard's going to come back and he's going to make all of this so much better. I'm just not convinced of that. I say, well, Jonathan, Giannis is going to have a running mate, another guy who can score. That wasn't their issue Like, obviously it was because they only scored 98 points, but their defense was not very good. They gave up 117 points, and the Pacers had a bad fourth quarter. They gave up 93 points in 3 quarters. I don't care if Damian Lillard comes back or not. You're not winning games when you give up 93 points in 3 quarters. It's really hard to win when you do that. And you really want to tell me that the Milwaukee Bucks defense is going to be better with Damian Lillard playing 35 to 40 minutes a night? Get out of here with that. Like, that's not going to happen. You know that, and I know that. So they have to find out. The offense is obviously going to be better when Dame comes back, whether that's game 2 or game 3. But they have to find a way to get stops. It has to happen because if you don't get stops, you're not beating anybody, especially this Pacers team that runs really good offense. And speaking of defense, the Indiana Pacers defensively are so incredibly underrated because they're not on national TV very often. When you think about Haliburton, you know that he's not a great defender, and people remember this Pacers team from last year that was all offense with little to no defense. Since December 13th, so that's what, the last 4 months. The last 4 months of the season, the Indiana Pacers ranked 7th in defensive rating. This team can guard. Pascal Siakam, good defender, not a great one. Thought he did his best tonight trying to guard Giannis. But like Jarris Walker off the bench, that guy's a decent defender. TJ McConnell, he's a really good defender. Andrew Nembhard can guard. Aaron Nesmith can guard. Tyrese Haliburton he's much improved on that side of the ball. Smart basketball players tend to figure it out defensively. Now, look, like Haliburton's never going to be a great one-on-one defender, but he's smart. He knows where to be. He knows how to cut off driving lanes. He knows how to double, where to rotate back to. I thought we saw that a lot tonight because they used him a lot to double Giannis. And so they are much better defensively than what I think people realize. And the other thing that people don't realize with the Pacers, over the last 57 games of the year, they had the 6th highest net rating in the league. They were the 3rd best team in the Eastern Conference, and they had the 4th best record over the final 57 games of the year. That is not a small sample size. This Pacers team, really good. They can guard, and as we all know, they can really score the basketball. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I like the Pacers in game 2 as well, and if you missed my Eastern Conference playoff breakdown video thing that I did, I like the Pacers in 7 in this series. And I like him to hold home court in game 2, whether Damian Lillard comes back or not. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I'll be back again with another one after Nuggets, Clippers, breaking down that game 1 as well. So make sure you subscribe and you check out all the reaction videos that we're going to have during the entire NBA playoffs. Peace.